Welcome to the Mesonet Weather Report. I'm Wes Lee. A look at the 7-day rainfall map from Wednesday shows some pretty good numbers for this time of year in the southeast region. In the drier west and panhandle areas, the amounts were very limited. Most all of this rainfall fell before last weekend. This map for the fractional water index at 10 inches still shows a lot of green in most areas, but the yellow and brown areas are starting to grow. Fortunately, our soil moisture is still at a level that is not limiting wheat growth in most areas of the state. While there is not a lot of cattle turned out in the wheat belt yet, I noticed this very nice set of replacement heifers with great forage in Major County last week. Although we still have a few drought-inflicted areas, we appear to be in much better shape than a year ago. This report from the National Ag Statistics Service indicates that 60% of topsoil moisture is rated adequate or better. While this is down from the 70% reported a week ago, it is much better than the 24% reported a year ago. Light rain is in the forecast for this weekend for some, but the long-term forecast for most next week and later look mostly dry. Now here's Gary with a focus on rainfall during the full wheat growing season.
Thanks, Wes, and good morning, everyone. Well, unfortunately, we have trouble brewing in parts of the state with drought. And now that's not really a shocking statement. We're always in drought, it seems like. But this is a new area that's going right back into that dry time. So let's take a look at the newest map and see where we're at. Well, you can see from the drought monitor map, we have our same regular features that we've seen over the last really 2.5 years. So drought down in southwest Oklahoma, a long-term drought up in the north central and northeast Oklahoma. But now we have this area up in northwest Oklahoma with this growing dry spell that's starting to get into the moderate drought, just a tiny bit of drought there, and also some abnormally dry conditions signaling they're going into drought. So something to watch for as we go through the next few weeks. You can see the culprit right here. We have another growing dry spell, as I said, the consecutive days with less than 1/4 inch of rainfall from the Oklahoma Mesonet, and we can see up in northwest Oklahoma, we go from about 16 days to more than 20 days to more than 60 days by the time you're watching this. So again, this is how we've been doing this the last few years. We go a little bit of rain and then a long dry spell. So again, something to watch out for. Rainfall map says it all. Some parts of the Oklahoma Panhandle have had less than a 1/2 inch of rainfall over that 60-day time frame. But once you get northwest of I-44 rather, you get down into less than 3 inches of rainfall until eventually you get down to that less than an inch range. Again, another growing dry spell for the northwestern third of the state, unfortunately. That shows up on the departure from normal 60-day rainfall map from the Mesonet as well. Again, across that northwestern third to really half of the state, we're 1 to 2 to even more than 3 inches below normal for this time of year. So unfortunately, that's the recipe for drought if we're not careful. And finally, we'll take a look at the topsoil percent short to very short map from the USDA. These numbers for Oklahoma creeping up slowly each week. So now we're up to 40% of the state, short to very short for that topsoil moisture. Unfortunately, I think it's going to continue to go up until we get some rain across that northwestern half of the state. So we're in a waiting pattern for at least northwestern Oklahoma. We do need some moisture up that way. We'll take rain, we'll take snow, hopefully not ice, but we'll just take some moisture. That's it for this time. We'll see you next time on the Mesonet Weather Report.